I never planned to fall in love with my best friend. Honestly, I didn't even believe that kind of love story could happen to me. It always felt like something you only see in movies, right? But here I am. It all started 3 years ago, on a day that felt completely ordinary. There were no dramatic sparks, no slow motion moments, just the same old classroom, the same crowded hallway, the same boring routine. We barely even talked at first. It was all just small conversations, random homework questions, a few jokes here and there. Nothing that would make you think, this is it. This is the start of something. But slowly, without me even realizing it, something started to shift. He became my person. We started talking every single day. About school, about our crazy dreams for the future, about the music we loved, our families, and just life. We laughed so much. The kind of deep, uncontrollable laughter that makes your stomach hurt and your eyes water. I remember staying up way too late, our phones lighting up the dark, just texting about everything and absolutely nothing at the same time. He was the first person I wanted to tell when something amazing happened, and he was the one who would just listen without judgment when I was having a bad day. He was my rock. Everyone around us was convinced we were a couple. Friends, family, even teachers would ask, "So, are you two together yet?" And every single time, we'd just laugh it off and say, "No way, we're just friends." And the crazy part is, I completely believed it. I was in denial. He'd tell me about the people he liked, and I'd give him my honest advice. I'd tell him about my latest crush, and we'd joke about how complicated relationships were. We talked about love, about the future, about who we might end up with, never once thinking it could be each other. He became my safe place, the one person in the world I trusted with all my secrets, all my fears. But somewhere along the line, without any warning, something changed. Or maybe it had been changing all along, and I just refused to see it. I started noticing the little things. The way his smile could instantly make me feel calm, no matter how chaotic my day was. The subtle change in his voice when he said my name, how it sounded softer, different. And then came the jealousy. That sharp, uncomfortable pang in my chest whenever he talked about another girl. I had no right to feel that way, and I knew it, which only made it worse. I kept telling myself it was nothing. I tried to convince myself it was just a weird phase of our friendship, that I was just being overly protective. But deep down, my heart already knew the truth. It was a quiet realization at first, a whisper that I tried so hard to ignore. But it grew louder and louder until I couldn't pretend anymore. I was falling in love with my best friend, and that realization scared me more than anything else in the world. Because what if I told him, and it ruined everything? What if I lost the most important person in my life? The thought of losing our friendship was unbearable, so I kept quiet, holding this huge secret, terrified of what would happen next. It felt like I was standing on the edge of a cliff, and I had no idea if I was about to fly or fall. If you've ever been in this situation, you know exactly how terrifying it is. Once I realized my feelings, everything became complicated. Every single moment with him felt different. Before, he was just my best friend, the person I could be completely myself with. Now, when he sat next to me, my heart would start racing, just a little faster than it should. When he gave me one of his casual, friendly hugs, I'd find myself wanting time to just stop, to stay in that moment a little longer. And when he smiled at me, that genuine, crinkle-eyed smile he gives, I felt something warm spread through my chest that I couldn't quite put into words. It was new, and it was terrifying. But I never said anything. I kept it all locked up inside. Because what if I ruined everything? Our friendship was so perfect, so easy. What if telling him made things awkward and strange? What if he didn't feel the same way? The thought of his face changing, of him pulling away, was unbearable. What if I confessed my feelings and, in doing so, lost my best friend? The one person I could always count on. So, I stayed silent. I became an expert at hiding. I'd sit there and listen to him talk about other girls, about his crushes, about his dates. And with every word, my heart would quietly break, piece by piece. I'd nod and offer advice, playing the role of the supportive best friend perfectly. I smiled when he laughed. Even when the reason for his laugh was a joke another girl told him. Even when it hurt, I pretended I was okay. When I was anything but, I learned to live with this constant, dull ache in my chest. There were so many nights I'd lie awake, just replaying our conversations in my head, analyzing every little detail. I'd search for hidden meanings, for a sign that he felt something too. Did that lingering look mean something more? Did that late-night text message sound different from the others? A little softer, a little more personal? Or was I just imagining it all, projecting my own feelings onto him? Was I so deep in this that I was just seeing what I wanted to see? Sometimes, I really thought he felt it too. I'd catch him looking at me when he thought I wasn't paying attention. I saw the way his jaw would clench just a little when another guy talked to me. The way he always came to me first when he was sad or had a problem, as if my presence was his comfort zone. In those moments, a spark of hope would ignite inside me, making me think, maybe, just maybe. But then, just as quickly, he'd say something that would extinguish that hope completely. He'd throw out a casual line like, "You're such a great friend," or "You're like a sister to me." And that word, friend, started to hurt more than I ever expected it could. It was a constant, painful reminder of the line between us. A line that I had crossed in my heart, but he hadn't. I wanted to tell him so many times. I came so close. More than once. The words would be right there, on the tip of my tongue. My heart pounding in my ears. But fear always won. The fear of rejection, the fear of changing our dynamic forever, the fear of losing him. It was a paralyzing fear that kept my lips sealed. Because loving your best friend in silence is a special kind of pain. It's a paradox. You're closer to them than anyone else. You see them every day. You know all their secrets, but you feel completely and utterly alone in your feelings. You love them so deeply, so completely, but you're terrified to love them out loud. And so, I kept asking myself the same question, over and over again, like a broken record in my mind. Is it better to stay silent and keep him in my life as my best friend? Or is it better to tell the truth and risk losing everything? It's a gamble with the highest stakes imaginable, and I'm still not sure which choice is the right one. One day, everything changed. We were sitting together, just like we always did, on that same old park bench, under the same leafy tree that had witnessed countless conversations over the years. We were talking, laughing, pretending everything was perfectly normal. But it wasn't. Not for me, anyway. 4 weeks, I'd been carrying this weight, this heavy feeling in my chest that got more and more suffocating every time I was near him. It was a secret that was slowly eating away at me, and I knew I couldn't keep hiding it anymore. The fear of ruining everything we had was immense, but the pain of staying silent was becoming unbearable. So, I did it. I told him. My voice was shaking so much I could barely get the words out. My hands were freezing, even though it was a warm afternoon. My heart felt like it was hammering against my ribs, about to explode right out of my chest. I looked at him, my best friend, the person who knew me better than anyone, and I told him the truth. I told him I loved him. The words hung in the air between us, fragile and terrifying. I quickly added that I didn't mean for it to happen, that it just did, slowly, and then all at once. I told him how scared I was of losing him, of our friendship becoming a casualty of my feelings. For a moment, he said nothing. He just looked at me, his expression unreadable. That silence felt longer than anything I had ever experienced in my life. Every second stretched into an eternity, filled with a million what-ifs. My mind was racing, preparing for the worst, bracing for the impact of his reaction. Then he spoke, and in that moment, my entire world changed. He told me he felt the same. He said he had been scared too, just as terrified as I was. He confessed that he didn't want to ruin our incredible friendship, the one thing that had been a constant in his life. And suddenly, everything made sense. All the lingering looks, the inside jokes that felt like more than jokes, the way he always seemed to be there exactly when I needed him. It all clicked into place. It was like seeing a picture in full color after only ever seeing it in black and white. A wave of relief washed over me so powerful it almost knocked the breath out of me.
The fear that had been my constant companion for so long just melted away, replaced by a warmth that spread through my entire body.
We didn't rush anything. We didn't need to. We took it slow, letting this new chapter of our story unfold naturally. Because what we had wasn't just a spark of romance. It was built on a foundation of friendship, deep trust, and years of shared memories. It was the comfort of knowing someone as soul and the excitement of discovering them in a new light. We had already built the house. We were just finally opening the door to a room we never knew was there. It was more than just falling in love. It was like coming home. Falling in love with my best friend taught me something incredibly important. Love isn't always easy. It's risky. It's scary. It demands a leap of faith into the unknown. But sometimes, it's absolutely worth it. The risk, the fear, the vulnerability, it's all part of the journey. And even if it doesn't end the way you hope, loving honestly is never a mistake. Because the bravest thing you can do is tell the truth about how you feel. It's about honoring your own heart. And that is a victory in itself. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever been in a similar situation, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.